Taygeta is a very interesting place. I've interacted with 2 humanoid races from there and 2 reptilian races from there. Total of 4 times, so 2 humanoids and 2 reptilian, different densities, different energy orientations, of course, but quite interesting to learn who they are and where they're from. And as a channeler of Theta Tauri race, a very proud channeler of this honorable race, I've seen a lot of different speakers and a lot of different channelers within the industry that are misspeaking about Taygeta, or Pleiades in general, as they refer to Pleiadians. But this is incorrectly referring to who is this race from Taygeta, or who is this race from Pleiades, because there's so many different type of races that come from these regions. They're not all benevolent. They're not all positive and loving and sweet and caring and they pet humans on the head. That's not true. And they're not all humanoid races that come from Pleiades or Taygeta. They don't have all blue eyes and blonde hair, or brown eyes and brown hair, stunning, gorgeous, humanoid looking human saviors. This is not true. This is an illusion. They're not all models. Every time we see a picture today of Taygeta humanoids or Pleiadian humanoids, always blonde hair, blue eyes, brown hair, blue eyes, stunning, good looking fitness models, really. But this is not true. This is deception. They're not some exotic Playboy models. And people that are depicting these things are mislabeling them. They're misrepresenting them. They're not in some military blue color uniforms all the time. And we see this often associated with humanoid beings that are referred to as galactic federations. These standard images of these blonde hair, blue eyes, brown hair, brown eyes type of entities. And these are generally stolen from a Serbian talented artist named Vashta, or Kasara art, or David, the 3 top artists when it comes to extraterrestrial beings. And when it comes to Taygeta or Pleiades, this isn't even really a proper name for Taygeta. That's not an ancient name. Extraterrestrial and extra-dimensional races don't even refer to these regions as Taygeta or Taygetis or Taygeten. Tayget is another term I see going around. This is not true. There is an ancient name, but humans only know it as Taygeta. So extraterrestrial races just go along with it. They said, okay, sure. And within the Pleiades systems, there are too many races and regions and stars and moons and so forth to name. But there are some of the most psychopathic, evil humanoid races I have ever seen, right there in Pleiades. Aquatic races, feline races, lion races, zeta group races, insectoid races, reptilian races, reptilian hybrid races. Taygeta and Pleiades do not just feature humanoid races who are love and light and they represent benevolence. That's not true. That's misrepresentation of true aspect of Pleiades. There are some completely, as I say, psychopathic, humanoid, blonde-haired, blue-eyed races that live in Pleiades. 25% of Pleiades is all reptilians, reptilian in nature. But of course, today's Taygetan speakers and channelers do not notice, of course. I mean, they can't even name top 20, 30, or 50 actual race names within Pleiades. So they call them all Pleiadians. And what do we see with the term Pleiadians? A humanoid being standing in a blue uniform, blonde hair, blue eyes. This is not true. They're not just some human saviors coming down here to rescue humans like we need to be rescued. This is incorrect. This is only repeated and constantly foolishly repeated by beings and humans who do not know the true Pleiades history or the breakdown or the hierarchy system. A variety of different beings live within Taygeta or Pleiades or Atlas or Electra or Alcyon or Maya or Pleiadian and so forth, and different races live within these different regions. Not just humanoid. Oh God, no, nowhere near. Most Pleiadians, or Galactic Federation of Worshippers today, as I call them, are simply just too busy escaping reality by permanently worshipping these humanoid entities, foolishly, really. And they're waiting for these saviors to really come down to Earth. So these concepts of Galactic Federation of Light, Thor Hands, Ashtar, Galactic Federation of Worlds, these things don't exist. No one's coming to Earth to save anybody. And most humans today who worship these concepts, I personally believe, are emotionally attached to these concepts, emotionally attached and vulnerable. They're misguided by these top Pleiadian, GFL, GFW, Ashtar, Taygeta, Thor Hand leaders in the industry. And we see this constantly. No galactic saviors are coming to Earth. No one's coming here. No meetings are taking place on Venus and Jupiter and Pluto. No galactic federation ships are battling draconians and all of these fairy tale illusions. No underground tunnels are being cleared. This is a nonsense. People need to get a grip of reality. First of all of the 4 speakers today on Earth of Taygeta, so 4 Taygetan speakers, 2 are pretending to be channelers. They're calling themselves ambassadors, missionaries, channelers, admitting even on their website that they're not channeling. They specifically say this is not a channeled message. And the information itself just came to them. Another 2 channelers or speakers constantly are repeating the very same concepts that GFL provided back in the 90s and in the 2000s, going back for years and years, same things, same statements, going back to Fulford, Cobra, Niddle, Aurora, EA, Sam, Elena, Megan, same type of things, just repeated differently, rebranded differently, repackaged differently. This isn't nothing new. These are GFL statements, GFL messages, fake fraudulent messages that are just branded differently today. And the 1 or the 4th largest or biggest Taygeta speaker today is the heavily most hijacked human I've ever seen, with severe mental health disorder, mental health issues, who identifies herself as a missionary ambassador with 22 strain DNA. But in fact, and the truth is, no human today on Earth that's an organic human has 22 strain DNA fully enabled. And this person foolishly deceives their followers. Her followers, the website's followers, the social media followers, promising that these Taygetan saviors are coming to Earth very soon with motherships. And they're going to rescue selected humans and take them to 5D New Earth and give them medbeds and ascension, instant telepathy. These are fairy tales. Why is this allowed to be occurring? And of all of the Taygetan, overall, all of the Taygeta messages, material that's out there, some are really good, definitely. Some are as authentic, absolutely, genuine, and the humans that are providing this information are good humans. But the messages are intercepted. They're not 100%. And some of the messages are just pure lies, made up things, such as random names thrown out there and given to these federations of Taygeta, Federation, Galactic Federation of United Planets, Galactic Federation of Taygeta, United Federation of Planets. I mean, these are amateurish and childish tricks. Concepts that are given to these humans, and these humans have no idea that this is true or not true. So they just repeat it to other humans, and then the followers listen to it and forward it to someone else. And that's misinformation. That's disinformation. These made up federation names, I mean, they just kind of throw a dice and say, okay, we're going to name this federation today this and this federation to that. Does it make it genuine? No, it doesn't make it genuine. And we also see with these speakers of Taygeta and Pleiadian speakers often, and Galactic Federation of Lies, Light speakers, they always constantly speak extremely negatively and disrespectfully towards reptilians. Constantly. Why? Well, because reptilians really don't give a shit about emotions, and they're gonna tell humans the truth, galactic truth, celestial, cosmic truth. Reptilian races, high-ranking races, honorable reptilian races, I know plenty. Theta Tauri is just one. They don't care if they hurt your feelings, but they're gonna tell you the truth. And they know who Taygeta is. They know who lives there. So today, people talking about Taygeta, they're just misguided. They don't have mental network open, psychic network open. It's still very blocked with significant amount of blockages. They have no real telepathy. They have no mental warfare. They have no idea who they're talking to. That's the number one problem with Taygeta speakers. They do not genuinely know who they're talking to. They're just guessing or listening and believing whoever the entities say that they are. And then these humans, what do they think? They either make up the messages to make up that video that they create quite long and quite serious, or they're just foolishly believing that the message that came through or that they saw in the astral or through their automatic writing, like that's channeling, but through their automatic writing, that it is genuine. But is it really genuine? Taygetans, apparently, are contacting thousands and thousands of people on Earth called open contact, Earth open contact. But this is not true. No contact like this exists. Human just doesn't get contacted randomly. This is agreed on a soul level and many other aspects of for agreements, contracts, partnerships, and things of that sort. Taygetans don't have the power to contact so many humans. There are monitoring systems over Earth. All of these messages are intercepted. And the automatic writing claims of Taygetan beings channeling through humans through automatic writing, that's a joke. That's a 6-year-old joke at a kindergarten. Let's be real. So what are these Taygetan humanoids? These saviors? What are they? Why do they always look like Playboy models in every picture? I bet if a person goes to a website called storyblocks.com, canva.com, istockphoto.com, where extremely pretty pictures of models, men and women, stunning hair, makeup, bodybuilders, and fitness models are featured. And then they take those pictures, and then they hire a graphic designer that does 3D rendering. And then they add those heads of those models to these fake bodies, these humanoid bodies, these soldier type of galactic bodies. And this 3D rendering design can be hired at fiverr.com, canva.com. And that means that anybody can create a humanoid extraterrestrial named Taygetan. My own designer has created the pictures of Taygetan for the purposes of this video, to show these humanoids in green uniforms. But they're not real. Just like many pictures of these Taygetan humanoids circulating the internet are also not real. First of all, within that area of Taygeta, let's get some facts straight. There are dozens and dozens and dozens of different humanoid races, all within 4th and 5th density at around that region. They're not just one race. There are dozens and dozens of humanoids. Then we have a also very known, very reputable 5th density humanoid race that comes from Erra, or Uru, the ancient name. And there's a few other nicknames. But they're not the only beings that are on Erra or Eru. There's different races there. They're just one that's very known. What they really are, for those following Erra, what they are is a combination of different beings, different humanoid beings from Pleiades, a mix, literally a mix of 50 to 60 different beings. They're not from Erra. They just identify to be from Erra, and they're nowhere near benevolent. I know this trickster race. That's all they are, is tricksters, really. Tricksters. They like to play games. This race, this group, is a combination of a variety of different beings that belong to a variety of different humanoid and humanoid hybrid type of beings. And they tell humans whatever fits their agenda, their truth, limited and filtered information. They're known for that. This particular group is very known for that. They tell humans what humans wish to hear. That's all. They tell humans their own conclusions, their own answers, their own opinions, their own percentages really of energy orientation. They don't allow human to make that decision. So they just put out a conclusion or an answer, and the human takes it and spreads it on Earth, claiming it's from this Taygeta channeling federation, Taygeta group of saviors and so forth. This is misinformation. This is disinformation. It's manipulating humans, really. Because these beings, they belong to this one particular group from Erra. They want humans to worship them as gods, to see them that they are the best of the best of the best, that they are the new Anunnakis of the world, so that human energy can be harvested and fuel their own energy systems and other things, including technology. So it is in their interest for humans to be misguided, but also for humans to feel safe. This is why majority of the messages by Taygeta humanoids are always very safe, very, very loving, very caring. That's the trick, that's the point. To keep humans grounded, to make sure humans don't question things, to make sure that humans always think there's a mothership coming. But of course, they always say that they're battling Sikaar, and they're winning wars against Sikaar and arresting Sikaar. This is ridiculous. I happen to know Sikaar, I happen to know demon gods and the Kalask, and interacted with these beings very, very closely, and other races within the Empire. And these races, they don't lose. They don't ever lose. So these stories of Taygetan armies and Taygeta mothership battling Sikaar, again, this is no evidence. This is nonsense. All the beings in the universe know this. All the beings within our galaxy know absolutely that there is no such thing as a battle between Sikaar and anything that has to do with Taygeta. So in this greater Taygeta region, There are definitely many different humanoid races. There's reptilian races, some Zeta races, some Zeta hybrid races, some insectoid races, a couple of feline races, feline hybrid races, ranging from 4th density, 5th density, 6th density. And then mix and match of different races who hybridize with one another that none of us are even aware of. No one knows their name. They're malevolent, benevolent, positive, loving, semi-malevolent, semi-benevolent. It goes a variety of different energy orientations, really. But of course, humans don't know this. And the Taygeta speakers today don't know this. Why? Because Taygeta speakers are either making up the information, they either really don't know who they're talking to, or they're just pure out lying, just pure out misinformation and disinformation. If an extraterrestrial being today is a humanoid, blonde hair, blue eyes, or brown hair, brown eyes, immediately most of the humans will worship it and feel safe and give it trust right away. If anything is thrown in the sentence that says light or love, right away humans are immediately giving it all of their energy, saying definitely this is safe. Why? This is the trick itself. This is why so many humans today in the industry are absolutely hijacked. And this is why so many humans in the astral are manipulated with, interfered with, raped, genetic material extracted, trackers and implants placed, taken for 4, 5, 6 days, and then an avatar is inserted to make sure the human doesn't think they were taken for 4 or 5 days, and so forth. Why? Because these tricksters know that humans feel extremely safe with the term Pleiadians, Galactic Federation, Taygeta, Arcturians, blah, 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 and so forth and so forth. So they take advantage of that, unfortunately. That's not honorable, I don't agree with it, but that's what happens. It's happening all the time. Not to mention the insertions of fake avatars in the dream states, lower and higher dream states. So why aren't the Taygeta channelers speaking about this? Because they have no idea. They haven't even synced their audio and video yet in the astral. They haven't even opened up their third eye to the degree that they're able to perceive everything in full color, full video, full audio, or have a two-way conversation. They're too busy with having these standard human conditionings lingering within their system that have not been uninstalled. They cannot lucid, they cannot project anywhere, they have no mental warfare. They have absolutely no mental warfare. I've seen this in multiple different Taygeta speakers. They have no high-ranking extraterrestrial races associated with them. They have no signatures added to their own signature by any high-ranking races. They have absolutely no clue how to manipulate energies, how to defend against an avatar, how to defend against an attack, how to detect a shapeshifter, how to remove fear from their unconscious and subconscious layers. All humans have ancestral fear. That's not what I'm referring to. I'm talking about fear within the unknown layers, subconscious layers, unconscious layers. These humans, these speakers that are claiming to be the prophets of Taygeta do not know any of this, because channelers see other channelers. We see energy exchange, and there is no energy exchange with many of these beings, many of these humans. Why aren't today's Taygetan channelers not speaking about all the details about Taygeta? Because they have no idea. They haven't reached that level yet. They have no significant extra-dimensional, extraterrestrial contact experience, or any valid extraterrestrial partnerships or contracts in place, any agreements, particularly not channeling agreements. There's 2 people that channel Taygetans, and that's it. So let me teach a piece of information to the Taygetan experts. They can learn a thing or two, since they definitely not providing the true interstellar information to their human followers. First and foremost, out of all of the races and in relation to Taygeta, so in Taygeta and around Taygeta, total amount of races, that's my first question to all Taygetan speakers. How many races exist within and around Taygeta? 340. 41 are just reptilian races. And I'm personally aware of these independent races. They're not part of a draconian empire or any kind of empire. They don't give a shit. They're quite independent. They're not part of any federations or alliances or none of that stuff. There are 9 pure blood reptilian races on Taygeta within that star, just right there alone, with another 51 human hybrid, reptilian hybrid races. So hybridized programs, of course. Capella is a good example of that. But Taygeta channelers are not explaining this today to their followers, to their own worshippers, to their own members of their communities and their social media programs. Why is that? Because their handlers at Erra and Ashadi, Maya and Thorhan and so forth haven't given them this information for a reason. People should know, shouldn't they? There are several hundred thousands of different reptilian and reptilian hybrid races within the entirety of the Pleiades system. In Taygeta, there are absolutely no draconian beings, no draconian races. Of course, it's too primitive for these draconian beings to go there and speak with someone that's still stuck on love, light, unicorn, and rainbow. These are two different civilizations. So no draconians ever are within Taygeta. That's another rumor that's going on around the internet. No Sakar visits Taygeta. Sakar doesn't go to Taygeta, nor does Taygeta fight Sakar. Sakar and the Draconian Empire are way too powerful for Taygeta beings. So these wars that are talked about on the internet are not true. There's no evidence of this. All the beings in the galaxy know this. Anything that happens on Taygeta, anything that happens with any human connection with extraterrestrials, anything that happens within and around Taygeta is always known by the surrounding planets and stars and galaxies and so forth. Because the Taygeta is not managed or owned or run by one humanoid race. This is far from truth. But innocent humans in the industry, on the internet, Gaia, YouTube, and many different social media channels, they don't know this because they're constantly told that Taygeta represents one humanoid race. Brown hair, brown eyes, or blonde hair, blue eyes. And that these beings are coming down to Earth to rescue humans. This is complete nonsense. This is not true, laughable nonsense. There is no such thing as a dominant Taygeta ruler race or main race or any Taygetan federation. Absolutely not. Taygeta does not have a single federation, nor they're part of any federations. GFL, GFW, made up things. Why aren't Taygetan channelers speaking about this in detail? Why aren't they speaking in details about Taygeta? Why are they just promoting love, light, saviors are coming? If you don't have the channeled information, don't get in the channeling industry. Why are they not mentioning two extraordinarily and extremely violent, dominant reptilian races that are within Taygeta, on Taygeta? Fifth density races. One of them I know as Equa. Second race is also with no ancient name, but the name given to me is Cookin. Why aren't they talking about these two races? The Cookin ones are just in the very, very early stages of the fifth density. They're so dangerous, they're so talked about that almost every humanoid Pleiadian collective is talking about it, and they have a very, very serious concern with the level of violence and dominance and power that this reptilian race holds. This is going to be extremely problematic for almost all humanoid races that are within the Pleiades. This is how outstanding these guys are growing. This is how known they are, how powerful they're getting. And they live not around Taygeta, no. They live on Taygeta. Why aren't Taygeta channelers providing this information? Or better yet, I ask Taygeta channelers, if any of them will ever watch this video, I ask them directly this: do you have any idea who you're talking to? Who you're truly speaking to? Who you're communicating with? Have you met them? No. Do you know who you're talking to? No. Most are only guessing. They know that. They know that. And in most cases, there is no authentic channeling. Taygeta does feature benevolent races, of course. And often we're told about two regions, Nur and Ashara. Ashara is not the real name, but okay, Nur and Ashara. And we see a variety of different nicknames for these two regions. But both of these places really feature similar type of energies, similar type of consciousnesses that are surrounding the main star being Taygeta. And both of these places have humanoid races there. There are fifth density Pleiadian races, and they're neutral in my opinion. Ashara, Nur, these are just names, nicknames given. Names that are given, they're not accurate, they're not true, they're not ancient names. People are getting tattoos on their body, says Ashara, Nur, Erra. What's wrong with people? But anyway, both of these places are inhabited by these two races that I'm referring to. In my opinion, they're neutral. They have 50 to 60% benevolency only. That's it, not 100%. And the two main specific races in these two specific regions, I'm very familiar with. I know exactly who they are. But the information that comes from them to Earth is not fully their information. Well, why is that? Because the communication with certain beings from those regions isn't coming from the actual benevolent point of view. It's not coming from those two races, due to the fact that a lot of these communications that come from there down here to Earth, the human channeler, is hijacked. It's intercepted, it's filtered. And in some cases, it's completely made up. Completely made up. And humans believe this story, like just foolishly. Why? Because they feel Taygeta is safe. Pleiadian stuff is safe. Pleiades is safe. They hear these two names and right away it registers in their brain. This is safe information. This is true information. The moment the word light is added to anything, it could be like hellhole of light. People say, well, it's got a word light in it, so we'll definitely believe in it. Yeah, it's got to be a Thorhan or Ashtar coming or something. Like, people got to snap out of that. The reality is, of all of the races in Taygeta, there are only two humanoid groups that are highly benevolent. That is it. And no one in the industry today, as of summer 2022, not one video, not one book, not one comment, not one social media comment ever has named these two groups. Why? Because, like I said, the four Taygeta speakers today in the industry are not aware who they're talking to. I happen to know the two ancient names. I happen to know the two races. This was an introduction that was made on behalf of someone else in order for me to see who are these Taygetan beings. Their ancient names, Shata-shur-i and Kanakod-idu. Other than that, no other race that comes from Erra, Shvara, Shuru, whatever the fuck these names are, they're not benevolent. They're manipulators and tricksters. People got to seriously snap out of it if you want to grow outward and not get hijacked. So a lot of these regions are populated with beings, populated with races, populated with a variety of different hybrid beings, hybrid races, variety of different deceivers. These are tricksters. They desire to steal and use human emotions, human energy. Humans are crying and worshiping and meditating and praying for saviors. This is what these parasites desire to achieve, to steal that human emotion. Humans want to go to 5D ascension like next Thursday night to get a free medbed. Yeah, these beings know that. They know that. They know when we go to sleep. They know what we think about. They know our fears. They know everything that has to do with sexuality and temptations. They understand that. They're quite more intelligent than we are. So of course they use humans. And they implant humans with trackers and implants and so forth. And by the way, speaking of implants, any channeler today that says they have an implant in their brain given to them by a benevolent extraterrestrial being, or had their DNA enabled to a 22 strain, are absolutely making it up. They're a hijacked human. They're worthless human. They have no honor. They represent fraud. These humans are misguiding wonderful humans, innocent humans in the community. I'm a proud human. I love helping humans. But seeing these extremely sick and twisted parasites, egomaniacs, do what they do to humans by providing false information, it's disgusting, it's sickening. There's no honor in that. However, the humans that are stating that they are receiving the information through their cell phones and cell phone tablets and chat apps, they're extremely gullible. They have absolutely no idea who they're truly talking to. They're looking at their cell phone, the chat app, the WhatsApp, the Telegram, saying, yeah, this is an extraterrestrial message. Stop. That is not funny. These are not channeled messages. These are not real entities that they think that they say that they are. And these messages given to any channeler today or any person today on Earth through their cell phones, tablets, laptops, texting, so SMS messages, WhatsApp, Telegram, so forth, these private chat apps, Facebook chat apps, these are not extraterrestrials that are talking to you. Regardless what they say, they can come up with a Nobel Prize invention. They're not extraterrestrials. They don't use this type of communication. You really think 5th, 6th density extraterrestrial race is going to use a pathetic and primitive method of texting with a human being, which is the most basic and unprotected, unverified, completely hackable, unrealistic form of communication with an intelligent species, with an intelligent race, completely different civilization somewhere in a galaxy? They don't use this kind of communication. These kind of communications are heavily monitored by Earth government, law enforcement, intelligence, counterintelligence, three-letter agencies, but also artificial intelligence, AI. AI is not a friend to humanity. AI is one of the worst enemies we can possibly have. But also Earth-based reptilians and greys, they monitor a lot of different communications. They're real custodians of Earth. So chat rooms and so forth, I mean, that's just an embarrassment to even say that that is how you receive your information. And on a serious note, without any insults, very humbly speaking, very respectfully speaking, today, through my entire life, I'm in my early 40s, I've never heard once of any extraterrestrial contactee, any extraterrestrial, extra-dimensional experiencer, channeler, author, or just a YouTube presenter, a Gaia TV presenter, not a single meme, not a single quote, not a single statement. Never has anyone been contacted about extraterrestrials and developed this relationship through their cell phones, chat rooms, WhatsApp, Telegram, Facebook chats, and things of that sort. I mean, come on. We need to seriously stop the madness. And I know for a fact, fully verified information, that the two extremely benevolent and kind and respectful Taygeta humanoid races that I did mention earlier, that do communicate with humans on Earth, organic humans, they do it through channeling, telepathically, not through cell phones, not through laptops, not through computers, not through tablets, not in any way, shape, or form. I mean, this would probably be one of the most embarrassing concepts to propose to an extraterrestrial and say, hey, do you want us texting each other? But this is not a romantic relationship. This is not a long distance relationship. This is serious business. No extraterrestrial, extra-dimensional race, regardless of their benevolence, malevolence, neutrality, doesn't matter, would ever do that, would ever in any way communicate with electronic devices on Earth. These are hackable methods of communication. They would not do that. It doesn't matter that Taygeta's messages or Pleiadian messages sound kind, sweet, polite, compassionate, and caring. Who cares how cute it sounds? Who cares how does it feel when you read it? Does it make you feel tingly and warm? Are you falling in love? It doesn't matter if they talk about nanotech or biolocation or some formula to like something that we've never heard of before. What's important is to understand what is the true nature of these beings, their mission, their intent, their true appearance, population, goal, density level, dimensionally, where they're at, their race name, they're not nickname, their real race name, actual race name, actual location, what's the size of their council, so that things can be verified. These things should be the priority to anyone watching Taygetan or Pleiadian or any other constellation messages, and messages that come from these galactic region. You cannot just say, well, are they loving? Will they help us ascend to 5D? This addiction to going to 5D needs to stop. They're like, people that say that are almost like crack addicts. They're like groupies at a concert. Stop with the 5D ascension. You're not going anywhere. You selected your incarnation and you're going to be here until you finish it. Finish the lessons and so forth. Regardless of what Pleiadian messages, Taygetan messages say that are so advanced, so complex, we don't know who it is if you rely on text messages. They can be talking about biolocation, teleportation, designs for advanced mechanical routers and magnetical fields and fusion reactors and so forth, magnetic rotor designs, blueprints for molecule structure for new form of energy, so free energy, any free energy type of advice, it doesn't matter. Even mathematical patterns and complex dynamics, what we've seen in authentic crop circles. New math discoveries to just complement our existing 13 books of Euclid for mathematics. Doesn't matter what they say, the point is who is speaking to the human. So we cannot get blinded by, oh, they're talking about some high-tech stuff. Who cares if they're talking about teachings on rapid air movement, ionization electric fields, crystal core reactors, consciousness-assisted technology, seamless ships, plasma ships, harmonic reactors, material, and in relation to the quantum physics and mechanics and metaphysical teachings and nanotechnology and quantum computers and quantum mechanics, manipulation of frequencies and AI algorithms. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they claim to be the creators of quantum computer algorithms, ether technologies or ether technologies, manipulating geometric patterns inside of quantum field, teleportation methods. Who gives a shit? The point is the human that's connecting to these beings needs to be sure, 100% sure, 1,000,000% crystal sure that they are speaking to an actual extraterrestrial with pure intent, with an open mind, with a loving heart, with a benevolence or neutrality. Humans cannot get blinded by these tech terms, stellar navigation and nebular equinescence and holographic technologies and non-locality, scalar infiltometry, black holes, wormholes, portals, timelines, time travel, so forth, grid system, duality, inner earth, consciousness transfer technologies. Just because a human receives these kind of things, it doesn't mean that the intent of this race is pure intent. This is standard language in the galaxy, in the celestial fields, in these regions, in the civilizations we have no access. So this is how they talk. They're all telepathic. They already understand these advanced things. Humans don't. Whatever other galactic topic they're talking about, this does not mean this is a genuine Pleiadian race, Taygetan race, or Arcturian race, or Andromedan race. This does not mean that a human receiving these messages truly knows who they're talking to. This means that this human can be manipulated. And they are manipulated. They're manipulated from other locations than Earth, and they're heavily manipulated. But how does a human know? These are not just governments playing games. Artificial intelligence. And artificial intelligence is no friend of humanity. And those that think AI is a friend of humanity, or AI is a benevolent add-on to the humanity, all of those that can switch parallel timelines and tap into different timelines and switch things and go into the future timelines, and then I challenge you to look at summer 2027, what occurs on Earth with AI. So AI is the enemy. So how can anyone logically and possibly say that they have received a genuine Taygetan message, Pleiadian message, or any other message, if they rely on channeled messages in their dreams, or astral, or automatic writing, or their chat rooms or texting? These are serious messages. How does a person not know these are not some messages from the Draconian system, from Boete system, from Andromeda, Ursa Major, Betelgeuse, Mars, Venus, Jupiter, and so forth? How do you not know this is not from some government office, some government employee playing games? But if anyone thinks that based on an internet, esoteric, UFO-based type of New Age cult religion that angelic, Caucasian, Nordic humanoid beings are coming here with long blonde hair, and long brown hair and blue eyes, with big smiles, beautiful, sexy, playboy type of bodies, bodybuilder type of bodies, and they call themselves the Thorhans and Ashtars and the Federations. They're coming here to save selected 144,000 humans and so forth, to take you to 5D, New Earth, offer you that unlimited shopping, on-craft shopping with a free medbit. You're either extremely gullible or conditioned and programmed and significantly emotionally detached from reality, completely divorced from reality, from any interstellar probabilities, possibilities, any kind of interstellar intelligence. That there's actually no help to you. I don't think that there is. Some of these things are just non-reversible. The galactic hijacking of humans, this energy harvesting of humans, has been going around for a long time. Especially today, especially in the recent years with GFL, GFW, and so forth. These are concepts made by parasites. And they use humans day by day, week by week, month by month, year by year. These are tricksters that don't deserve to take human energy in the first place. So why are humans giving them this energy? I've ran the whole Taygeta humanoid savior concept by a few different high-ranking reptilian races, and they all said the same thing. First, they laughed. Secondly, they don't give a shit for Taygeta. They don't give a shit for humanity. They don't give a shit for any humanoid race. They have their own business. They have their own society to worry about. They fight their own wars. So humans call them malevolent. Who are humans expert on galactic wars? Reptilians, Draconians, these beings do not care for humans' enlightenment and 5D access. These are fairy tales. These insentient, greedy and selfish programs, these primitive, ridiculous terms that are used today by people that are selling you the memberships and selling you the seminars. They know you're not going to ascend next Thursday night. You're not going to 5D next Friday afternoon. You're not getting a medbit next Saturday. Instead of healing traumas and fixing things and removing blacknesses and uninstalling human conditionings and programs, removing fears from unconscious layers and subconscious layers, taking weaknesses and turning them into something that's powerful, so bringing honor to yourself. That is what humans should be doing that are in the Pleiadian savior type of mindset. And unfortunately, and as I always say, very sad to say, but innocent humans have been successfully conditioned by a lot of these love, light, unicorn, and rainbow, let me pet you on the head and give you a kiss and tell you you're phenomenal, you're going to 5D next week. These type of speakers. Humans should be much, much more stronger, much, much more firm, much, much more assured, confident. They should have a lot more bravery and courage and hold their own energy, not piss it away. And don't listen to these people that are teaching you to worship things. Humans shouldn't be worshiping anybody. Nobody. Humans should be only worshiping their own soul, their own energy. Fixing things. Fear particularly, that's carried through epigenetics from incarnation to incarnation. Healing traumas, that's number one thing in a human life. Fix your traumas. But once humans realize that the cause of all growth failures on Earth are caused by the ETs pretending to be human saviors, well then it's too late. And it's already too late for many humans. Too many are addicted to this concept. Any human, literally any one of us, can take a lollipop or a candy and wave it in front of a baby or a dog or a cat, and the baby will go move their head and go, yeah, gimme, 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 gimme. But that's exactly what's happening with humans in the industry today. The moment the word Taygeta or Pleiadians are coming, the moment that's said, the human right away is, yes, master, give me that ascension, give me that 5D access, yes. What are you talking about? No one's giving you a med bed. You're never going to get one, nor are they going to be enabling your telepathy. No one's entering you into a portal so you can go into another planet, or you're now going on a plasma ship. No one's giving you consciousness-assisted tools and technologies and teach you how to bilocate. No one's going to teach you how to teleport and give you nanotech technology and other things. So stop being a zombie and pissing away your power. But in conclusion, my overall take on Taygeta speakers, Pleiadian speakers, it's very neutral. I don't hate them, disrespect them, but I don't love them. I don't respect them. I'm neutral about it. A lot of the messages sound extremely exciting, very positive, very beneficial for human race. But within them, there's a lot of misinformation and made-up terms. That's the part humans aren't seeing. And I don't blame the humans. My frustration, definitely, or my sharp tone is never towards the humans. It's towards the speakers and the promoters who know they're spreading misinformation. But I strongly suggest that they pull back, take a break from this entire industry, or take a break from this Taygeta movement, Pleiadian movement, develop their own channeling abilities, develop their own telepathy, their own higher level of discernment and intuitiveness and clairvoyance and so forth. Sync the third density with fourth density layer, and then sync that with the fifth density layer, then sync your audio and video within your third eye mental state, so that in the astral you're able to see and hear at the same time, fluently, fully. Then practice projections, practice connecting to the fifth and sixth density and astral layers, so 3 different layers of your soul, of your higher fractal consciousness, as each soul has over 120 layers. Then work on removing blacknesses and standard human conditionings and programs, including fear, including judgment, including ego, and so forth and so forth. Develop higher percentages of telepathy. Build a very strong level of mental warfare. Reptilians talk about it all the time. I talk about it all the time. Mental warfare, key element. Understand and recognize fake avatars, understand fake implants, trackers, GPSs, and so forth. Understand how these dream inserts work. Then directly speak to extraterrestrials, extra-dimensionals, in all of the different density layers, mainly within fourth and fifth. Understand how to move and shift and manipulate energy. Play in the fifth density physical layer. Attend training by extraterrestrials. Avoid all of this nonsense that's currently happening in the industry. Humans are wasting their time, they're wasting their potential, they're definitely wasting their energy, and our incarnation goes by extremely fast. So people should be extremely protective over their energy and over their time. And at all times in any channeling, as I've always said, make sure that the soul itself, the higher fractal consciousness, fourth, fifth, and sixth density layers are always present. And the 2 even popular, very popular Taygeta speakers today on Earth have already reached out to me directly, very privately, and I respect that, of course. And we had a conversation, we had a difference of opinion, of course. I don't agree with what they're doing. They don't agree with my criticism, but I don't agree with what they're doing. I know that they're misleading people. And many different Taygeta and Pleiadian followers today have also emailed. And they're also very respectful, and I give them my respect back. We can have a polite debate, of course, we're mature adults. I'm always open to a polite debate. And they ask what the reptilians think of Taygeta, what the reptilians think of Erra, what the reptilians think of Ashadu, and all of these different concepts. And I told them the same thing as I would tell anybody today, or next year, or next month, or even right now. High-ranking reptilian races, alpha draconian races, do not give a shit for Taygeta. They don't care for anybody worshipping Taygeta. They don't care for any Pleiadian humanoid races. They don't give a shit. They don't care for fairy tale, airy-fairy galactic federations because they know these federations do not exist. And people should stop connecting to high-ranking reptilian races with primitive questions before they hurt you very severely. I watched some of the Taygeta videos online and they're just pure staged entertainment. Exceptionally well edited, I'll give them that. But a laughable joke, repeated information from 25 years ago when GFL came into the business, using tech terms, cosmic galactic tech terms, interstellar technologies and so forth to fool the masses. And the person promoting these new age videos, they're not a channeler. They rely specifically and solely on a message that gets sent to their cell phone, into these chat rooms, WhatsApp and Telegram and so forth. That's not a channeled message. That's no extraterrestrial message. That's an embarrassment. That's an extraordinarily level of embellishment. I mean, severely pathetic foolishness. Idiocy, really. And how is it this even tolerable in the industry? How is it the spiritual community really believes in this bullshit? No wonder so many humans are misguided, confused, still seeking 5D ascension. They want to be hugged tightly and closely by the ETs, humanoid preferably, non-reptilian or insectoids, or zetas or felines. No. Humanoid with long blonde hair and brown eyes. Definitely, that's coming next week. Yeah, just keep on waiting. And these videos are like phenomenally edited. The messages to their cell phones, I know this for a fact, this is artificial intelligence message. These tricksters that send us these kind of messages is repeated galactic information, standard language in the universe. Pictures we see today of Taygetan humanoids, these are 3D renderings. These humanoids do not exist. But the stories, let me guess, Cabal and the overlords and the reptilians and greys are being cleared out from the underground tunnels. Jupiter meetings are taking place. Antarctica being cleared out. Venus, Jupiter, Moon, Mars, Saturn, all this material. No one's talking about the true custodians of these 5 locations. Particularly the spy satellite, hollow satellite called Moon. And I remember watching very recently an anti-reptilian, anti-draconian video by the same clown. And this whole old school GFL, Ashtar type of repeated old Wilcock or Elena or Sala type of stories or Gilliland type of stories. Galactic Federation is battling the Draco, the Cabal, and thousands of reptilians and draconians are being killed, completely arrested, tortured, and then murdered and killed, trialed in a high court of the Galactic Federation. And these clowns still refer to draconian beings as Draco. The Galactic Federations of managers who oversee Earth and Earth's operations. I mean, how can this still be going on in this 2022? I mean, we're not in Stone Age. How can people believe this? These typical bullshit promoters of GFL, but particularly also Galactic Federation of United Planets, originating from Taygeta. These names don't exist. These names are fake concepts. It's just a name, that is all. I strongly suggest to these clowns on Earth, these egomaniacs, to immediately seize all disrespectful, draconian type of statements that are not true, war-related statements that are not true, to seize this disrespectful propaganda towards the honorable, powerful, fierce alpha draconian races. No, they're not in the war with Taygeta, and Taygeta is not a war with draconians. Why? Because to battle draconian beings, they would need a collective of all of the humanoid races from Andromeda, Arcturus, and Pleiades. Draconian power is way, way too intense for anything that has to do with Taygeta. Taygeta really, I mean, their military power is equivalent to like this doorknob that I'm looking at my bathroom door here. So anyone speaking publicly about the draconian wars, and draconian conflicts and draconians being cleared out and arrested, these people are misrepresenting an extremely unique and significant subject. There is no humanoid Taygeta race that are managers of Earth. There is no Taygeta or Pleiadian Federation that are managers of Earth. The real custodians of Earth here in this reality, this is a realm, this is a reality, are Earth-based reptilians with population of 800 million and second in command are Zeta groups. Those humans that know this will also remember the teachings of Kalask, Morkul, Vortak, Skra, Nagai, Sigmas, Epsilons, and many other draconian beings. So I ask these humans, these honorable humans, that remember this teaching, remember who is in charge of this galaxy. It is no airy-fairy galactic federations. They don't run anything because they don't exist. There are many galactic federation type of alliances in the galaxy, but GFL, GFW does not exist. Also, as a representative of Theta Tauri race here on Earth, I mean, they only have 12 connections in the history of humanity. They also have a very unique special message for a Taygeta cult. They specifically said that they are now welcoming connections from the Pleiades Taygeta movement. They feel these humans energetically. Some of these humans meditate to Theta Tauri, seeking enlightenment, seeking love and light. Thetas are not loving type of race. They're not going to give you free hugs and kisses. This is why as of July 2022, they specifically said, Taygeta beings, Taygeta races, Taygeta entities, those following Taygeta, disconnect from our consciousness, unless we give you a direct invitation to connect to us. Otherwise, we'll deal with you extreme hostility. And as for the Taygeta New Age cult teachers, a couple of European girls, they're not talking to Taygeta. Honey, you're not talking to Taygeta. You're not talking to Pleiadians. Your cell phone is intercepted. Your cell phone is hijacked just like you are. My personal direct message to them, you're an embarrassment in this prestigious community, prestigious channeling and spiritual community. You're not receiving Taygeta messages. You're not receiving any messages. I'll give you a free reading, save you $500 an hour. And I give you a free reading. Your messages are AI programs with a spice of deceased humans, astral parasites, and one practitioner, one department of a human government in one particular country that specializes in extraterrestrial type of nature of events and things of that sort. And you're participating in this hijacking of your own energy, of your own consciousness. Why are you in the spiritual industry? Why are you in the channeling industry? You can't even see your own avatars as inserted in your own dream states. You're going to teach humans about ascension, astral manipulation, energy manipulation, biolocation. Yet you blame reptilians for all the Earth's problems. Draconian beings, powerful reptilian beings, including Earth-based reptilian beings, are not to blame for Earth's failures. The Taygeta love and light unicorn and rainbow worshippers and slaves should exit this cult immediately. Take a minute to themselves, reevaluate things, and then gravitate towards consciousnesses and beings and races that can provide you true interstellar information to make you powerful mentally, psychically, emotionally. Those that can give you the tools and mechanisms and abilities to unlock those tools within you that have been locked since Anunnaki days for a reason. That's where real power lays, and that's where real multidimensional power is at. Your current Taygeta channelers are not channelers. They're not receiving Taygeta messages. All they're doing is putting out art renderings, heavily edited videos. These humans are receiving their messages through the cell phone. Is that even normal? They're hijacked humans. They just don't know it yet. Otherwise, be extremely protected over your energy. Avoid false barriers of light, fake federations, all this childish nonsense. Kindergarten nonsense. Spiritual kindergarten, I call it. Have strict levels of discernment. Analyze it all. Analyze all truths. There's only one truth. There's only one truth. There's only one level of truth. That's it. Not 2, 3, 4, 5 versions. One level of truth. That is it. One interstellar truth. Different opinions, different combinations of opinions, different statements, different angles. Yes, but there's only one truth. Figure out that truth. And once you figure it out, you'll see that you've been deceived in this Taygeta community. And in these spiritual communities and channeling industries that we're all in, that I'm in, that everyone's participating in, I would advise humans to be extremely careful who they gravitate to. Evaluate their signatures, add it to their own aura field, signature field in the astral, if you're able to project and do that. Just like you can evaluate my signatures. Any human being that's able to project can evaluate the signatures, add a dozen or so signatures added to myself, to my own field. See if I'm authentic or if I'm making things up. Then you'll see the true authenticity in my words. Do not be fooled by false lies, false promises, polite lies, I say. But protect your energy. For the love of God, protect your energy. This incarnation goes by fast. Protect your energy. Avoid these bullshit topics, fake ascensions and fake galactic federations. It's a wonderful thing to be spiritual. There's a lot of great, remarkably talented channelers out there, ranging from Garthier to Lee Harris to Wendy Kennedy, so many different humans that provide wonderful channeled information, true information. But there are also a lot of fraudulent speakers, and often they can be detected easily and clearly, as they call themselves, the ambassadors, selected prophets and missionaries, Galactic Federation representatives. Stay away from that nonsense. They're not powerful, they're powerless. They're weak, pathetic rats. Be careful who you gravitate to is my number one advice to all of the Taygetan listeners. Remember, both salt and sugar look the same, doesn't it? In fact, Taygeta is a heavily populated region. So humans who worship this concept should be extremely sure where their own beautiful universe-given energy is really going, or is it being harvested?